And the 2014-2015 International Wendy's Franchise of the Year award goes to Guam owner Jun Espaldon. Says he was seated next to the India franchisee finishing his dessert when he heard the announcement.
You know, when that happens, you always just begin to think, oh, okay, well, that's going to somebody else, so you kind of continue eating. And then all of a sudden, we hear an explanation about Guam, and then realize after a while that Wendy's Guam wins the International Franchisee of the Year. So it's kind of wipe your mouth, wipe your dessert off and go up. And, I actually got numb at that moment because it was just a complete surprise.
After the initial disbelief, Espaldon says he just felt honored and privileged to receive the award. He says he was most happy for his managers and crew.
We kept it a secret from them for a while because our president of our region was coming about 2 weeks later to the Guam market. And we wanted to surprise our managers with that. So we had them all gathered. All of our GMs were here when the president was here. And they thought that they had their notebooks. They thought that they were going to get lectured and this is what you need to do. When in reality it was a celebration presenting them with the award.
Espaldon explains the rather unusual way they first approached the former Guam franchisee. He says they were always enamored by the Wendy's brand and wondered if it could actually be for sale. So one day he decided to drop in and ask.
But I remember driving on Marine Drive, knowing their office was down here, thinking about the Wendy's franchise and saying, well, I can take a right turn now and just pop into the office and begin talking to them. And there might have been a few times when I just kept driving straight and I didn't go, but then one day I finally did make that turn and I popped into their office, and to my surprise, they actually said, that's interesting. Let's talk more about this.
And in 2007, the purchase was completed. It became the second international franchise owned by Espaldon, along with Cold Stone Creamery. Espaldon has made his mark in business, but says he was actually torn between business and science. While in college, he graduated with a major in applied science in business.
I wanted to keep one foot in science, but I also had an interest in business. Kept a foot in science because my family was a medical family. And then I realized as time went on that I enjoyed the business aspect a little bit more. So if you were to take my major and really apply it to what it would be for, it would be, say, biotechnology type of companies. But instead I came home and ended up using the business side in other ways.
He mentioned his family was a medical family. Both parents were doctors. Ernesto Espaldon Sr. was a surgeon and former senator. His mother, Dr. Leticia Espaldon, was a former director of public health. None of their 6 children, though, followed into the medical field, although his older brother Jim did follow Dad into the legislature.
The irony is that as much as they probably wanted us to be physicians, because they taught us to be independent thinkers, we realized that we had other interests that we thought that we might excel in. And I think at the end of the day, they were proud, and as long as that no matter what we did, that we just tried our best and worked hard to excel, they were fine with that. And they did get a couple of doctors in the next generation. So.
What he also learned from his father was the value of hard work and giving back. The late Dr. Espaldon organized annual medical missions to impoverished communities in his native Philippines, and a young Jun Espaldon would come along.
I just watched him work terribly hard in a good way. I say that in a good way because he was a very, very hard worker, and at the same time was able to keep this incredible compassion for the family and really for the community. And so working hard, excelling, and then just realizing that life is about taking care of people.
His father, a plastic surgeon, would perform free corrective surgeries to repair cleft palates, a life-changing procedure for the many patients, most of whom were children. It taught Jun a lot about the value of compassion.
Looking for the goodness in others and realizing, trying to look at others and see that, see the goodness in them first, always. And always realizing that the blessings that you received are meant to be shared.
Espaldon was born and raised in Guam, went to Cathedral Grade School, then left for the mainland where he attended junior high, high school, and college.
After college, decided I wanted to come back home because it was such a wonderful childhood here, such a wonderful community to grow up in. My family, my parents were here. Guam was home. I loved Guam. I wanted to make it my home for my family. So we came home here. I came home here.
And it has been a successful homecoming business-wise with both the Wendy's and Cold Stone Creamery franchises. He says they've always got their eye out for other opportunities, but they still want to make the best with what they've already got.
There's also just so much that we could do to make ourselves better with what we have now. And if the growth ends up coming, we're happy about that. But we're thankful for what we have now, and we just need to keep learning how to execute better and better.
For KUAM's Business Matters, I'm Nestor Lecanto.